see you guys.
Good
Thanks
to see you.
so much for coming in. And I thought I would take the opportunity to have a conversation while you're here because, for starters, there's a little bit of history here, Car Audio. You are well known in Australia, I think, anyway. And hopefully a few more people get to know the famous John Jankowski. So give me the snapshot for everyone watching about your involvement in Car Audio. What drives you? What's your, some of the builds that you've done that people will know, like for the Hiace, for example. So
okay. Yes, the good old Hiace. Well, look, I suppose I started off like everybody else, just trying to pick a general hobby. I was always curious about car audio, but clearly didn't know a lot about it until early 2000. I'd say probably close to 2002, and the forums were active. So Car Audio Australia was the active forum at that time. So this is well before social media, and I jumped on there, and I was just a forum lurker. I just observed, and then I noticed that it had social events. I'm like, oh, okay, this looks interesting. It means that I get to meet people. So, and I thought, well, it'd be good to see some systems in the flesh. And then 2004, I became a lot more active because then Mark Russian, who was the administrator and the founder of Car Audio Australia, was looking for people to join up on an admin moderators board and have assistant state reps and state reps to help build up the social scene throughout Australia. So I put my hand up for the assistant state rep's position for Victoria, and surely enough, he accepted. And this was all over a chat at a social event that they had one night, and there were plenty of cars on display. And I'm just like looking at the environment that I was in, and I'm like, I could quite comfortably call this place home.
So what's the next build, do you think, for John? What's something in mind coming up, or?
Well, with me, I think there's always that expectancy of always turning things up a notch and doing something different. So I can't go back, I can't go backwards, but I've always been known for the builds that nobody likes to do, doesn't think to do, or just doesn't have the time or patience to do. So
I'm looking forward to seeing. I can tell there's something in the background, but that's good.
Maybe.
But how do you cope with all this crazy car audio?
Oh no, I'm completely fine with it. I was into car audio before I met John.
Fantastic. Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is awesome.
I think I met him at an event in 2013.
Yeah.
And he was running around doing the mad social thing he does. I just remember looking at him like, that guy's got too much enthusiasm.
So I wanted to get Sarah back in to have a conversation and to dive a little bit deeper into why she wants a car audio system and what about car audio really drives her. I suspect Sarah's a bit of a bass head, but we're going to find out. So, okay, tell us briefly about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your history and why you're here.
Okay, so I got into car audio in 2013. Got one of my first cars, had an issue with the speakers and the head unit, so of course I went to Autobahn Epping, and then of course they introduced me into subwoofers, and it's been a whirlwind since then, and now we're here.
Brilliant, okay. So why car audio? Why is it that it's not a home audio system? Why car audio? Do you spend a lot of time in your car?
Do spend a lot of time in my car. I've always worked and I've always felt the need to give myself an incredibly long commute to work. I also have a lot of family in the country, so in order to make the 3.5-hour trip, I like to have really loud, really decently sounding music in my car.
You say really loud sounding music in your car?
Yeah, really loud sounding music in my car.
So tell me about the music you listen to typically.
When I was younger, there was a lot of like Linkin Park, there was a lot of the typical harsher sounding when you start turning up the volume, which was unfortunate, but it didn't deter me. And then of course, as I got more into the car audio scene, then you'd get into the tracks that are of course edited to have the bass turned up a bit more. So when I first got my car, as I said, drove it around for a little bit, all factory, that was fine. Then ran into a few issues. The speakers were way too harsh when I had it up the volume that I wanted it to be up at. So that was the first problem, was going to try and let it slide. And then the head unit started scratching my CDs. So I had to just upgrade that sort of side of things for me. And then when I was talking to the people at Autobahn Epping just about, you know, how else I can improve it whilst I'm here, they then turned around and said, well, have you seen the subwoofer before? And I was like, no, what's that? And they're like, something that will make everything inside your car shake. I was like, yes, can I have 6? How fast can we get these in my car?
6.
Yeah, 6. Well, at first I had 4 10s, 4 8s, and then I had 2 10s, and then I had 2 12s. I had 1 15 at one point, but that was never put in my car. And I think for the duration of the time that I've been involved in the car audio industry, I've had 1 12 in the back of my car.
So what car was this that had 6 subs in it?
I think 6 was the Enthusiasm. It was originally 4 in the Hyundai Getz, which was a beautiful shape for the subwoofers. But it never ended up getting more than 4, unfortunately. It just went back to 2, but the subs got bigger.
So I heard from John that you actually have a coffee table that is a subwoofer enclosure in your lounge room.
Yes, we do. It's a wicked one. Got 4 10s. It is amazing for watching TV and movies.
That's pretty epic to have a coffee table which is a subwoofer enclosure.
And it makes an amazing coffee table. You can't get square coffee tables anymore. It's a great height. And just to have that home audio set up without taking up as much space, because the subwoofer box is the coffee table, I am obsessed. I love it.
So you've decided to embark on a car audio system for your 1998 Toyota Starlet.
Yes,
Tell me a little bit about the Starlet.
Yeah, got the Starlet about 1.5 years ago. Was sort of leaving it bare for a little bit, just wasn't entirely sure what direction to go in. Of course, going to all of the car audio events, you get to sit in these amazing cars and listen to these amazing, outrageous cars. And it just got to a point where I'm like, I can't drive my own car home now. I will get too depressed. So the ball needs to start rolling.
Right. And do you have an idea of the type of system you want to put in?
I don't, even though I would love to just have a walled car and do the hair tricks and get the 150, I do still need it to be my daily, and I think I would almost prefer for it to be a bit more subtle, just because it doesn't need to be a competing car, it doesn't need to be an outrageous project as a lot of them are. It just needs to sound really nice, sound really loud, and still manage to be the daily and be everything else that I need it to be on a regular basis, because it's still my functioning car.
That's fantastic. So I believe you've come with your own equipment.
Yes.
And we're going to help you install this sound system. I think you're going to do most of the work, and we'll be the arms and legs under your direction or where you want things. Now, the only thing we need to talk about is your budget. So how much money do you have to spend?
I have caramel slice, I have lemon slice.
Fantastic. I think we can do caramel slice. Sam, can you work for caramel slice? Done. I think we've got a deal. Beautiful. All right, fantastic.
Let's go.
So we've agreed to work for caramel slice. I don't quite know what's come over us, but we're about to get the show on the road. So let's go over and look at the first thing, which is to see what size subwoofer enclosure that we can fit into a car.